Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show. Look, minding all of you to go to YouTube, Everyday People, the movie on YouTube, and watch the show that we did, the docudrama called Everyday People, the movie. It's on YouTube, so make sure you all go check it out. I don't want to be long, but I just want to talk about something. It's dealing with the impeachment of Trump. Trump, and you will hear people saying he's defying the Constitution. But for black people in America, what is that? He's defying the Constitution. You got to remember the founding fathers had slaves. When you see black politicians and they talk about the forefathers, or they'll use the term our forefathers, but you seeing that the Jefferson and Washington was the forefathers who had your fathers in slavery. Trump is saying, well, that's hypocritical. You considering these slaves as 3/5 of a human being. You had them in slavery. During the Constitution, every man is created equal. All of that was hypocritical at the time. Even though, because I'm going to be fair, even though Frederick Douglass stated that the Constitution was anti-slavery. After he read the Constitution, that was his take on it. But when the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment was added, the 13th Amendment stated that, blacks were free unless they committed a crime, then they would relegate themselves back to slavery. It's still on the books today. That's in the Constitution. So what did they do? Well, you had the Black Code, you had Jim Crow, you had laws that was passed that would put black people in jail for jaywalking, for any small, minute number of things. That's why the prison population was highest amongst blacks. Then came the brown. It's been that way. It's been that way since the early 1800s, since the 13th Amendment. That was a trick was used. They never, the South never forgave the North for the Civil War and fighting against the South and removing their slaves. But after the thing is after they dismantled the South's wealth, the North turned its back on the South and was like, look, we just wanted to unify the Union. Now we won. Now, hey, we don't have the funds to keep the troops down in the South to make sure, because what do you think was going to happen? Whites were saying that, hey, you took our money base, slaves was our property, you took our property, give us our money back for our properties. When the Union soldiers left the South, then the Confederates in the South just caved in on the blacks that was there, whether you was free or what. They enacted these Jim Crow laws and the black codes and whatnot. And you saw the show we did on the Devil's Punch Bowl after the South lost the Civil War, how they killed thousands of black people in Natchez, Mississippi. I mean, it was ridiculous of everything that went on and that took place in the South behind this, right? And so I want to play a little something for you all, just so you can understand, coming from a point of view that might help to enhance this subject. Because the reason being is I can say it in a certain way, certain tone, certain dialect, the same subject, then someone else also who's highly qualified can state it in a certain way, in a certain perspective. Someone else can see the same thing and put it in a certain perspective, because the tragedy that had befallen upon black people here in America, it needs to be viewed from all angles, because we're trying to repair the unjust treatment that happened to a whole race of people. We dealing with them. I'm not even talking about Africa. I'm talking about throughout the Americas. When I say throughout the Americas, I'm talking about North, South, and Central America. We all went through the same thing. And the story, whether you was in North America, South America, Central America, the black people were the natives. They called them by different names. They called them Moors. They called them Indians. They were the natives. They brought the slaves in from Africa. They just tried to separate. But since you couldn't tell us apart, they just put everybody in slavery. Then they started changing names up during the census, starting from 1790 census on. As I had Brother Cliff on the show, and he was speaking up on how the names, the terminologies and the titles start changing from 1790s to the 1820s to the 1850s. Categorizing black people, or really categorizing us out of our inheritance, or what we could claim as far as our indigenous rights here in the Americas. Meaning that what did Malcolm X have, the ballot or the bullet, meaning that pen, the pen or the sword. That pen was mightier than the sword, and it takes those who will do the research and present this research to the public, so the people won't get lost and have a semblance, not a semblance, have true freedom through truth of what actually took place, what actually happened. So bear with me, because you got to hear this, because it's dealing with today's time and what's actually going on through the impeachment, the 3/5, this Constitution, what's really taking place right here on Verbal Peak Radio.
Now look, Georgie, porgy pudding and pie. Come on now, come on now. When them dudes, those gentlemen were in Philadelphia conspiring, they had 13 colonies that they wanted to bring together to form the United States. But the 13 colonies became rich from the transatlantic slave trade. Don't think that slaves were just in the South. Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New York, Connecticut. We had slaves up there too. So when they were arguing how to put this thing together, the argument came up about representation. And the South argued, saying, look, we got to count these Negroes. That's right. And the North said, wait a minute, they don't count. Them is Negroes, they don't count. They are our chattel. Why you going to count them? Listen. So the South said, well, hell with that then. If you're not going to count them, there won't be no union. There won't be no United States. So there was the 3/5 compromise. See, it's not that you were just 3/5 of a human being, but this was a compromise between the North and the South to get the South to come on board. So you were counted as 3/5 of a human so that the South could have greater representation in the House of Representatives.
Listen. Come on.
And that's why most of your first leaders of the United States came from the South. For the first 100 years of America's existence, 75 of those years, the president came from the South. The North was upset. Said, damn, if we don't do something about this, we're not going to have no Jews. What you think we ought to do? We ought to form an abolitionist movement to abolish slavery. It wasn't about freeing you. It was all about power. That's how they use you today. It ain't got a damn thing to do about you. It's about what white people want to get in power, so they suck up to you, pat you on your fanny, pat you on your back, give you some buttered biscuits and a piece of fried chicken around the back door and say, nigga, remember when you go to the polls. Remember the party that I threw for you. And I brought Bootylicious and she shook the fanny for you. So vote for me. It ain't about you. It ain't never been about you. Now, damn it, and you ain't got the guts to push them, to make them manifest their real character.
Go ahead. Come on. Go ahead.
You one of these damn go-along to get along Negroes. I'll go along because I want to get along, because I want tenure in some damn college. I want some position in corporate America. I want some favor.
Yeah.
But the favor that we want is the liberation of our people. And we cannot compromise that.
That's right.
For some jive job. Some gig. That's all you got is a gig, you know. When we were in music, when you had a gig, it was a short-term job. And that's all you got is a gig. You got a short-term job. And when you cease to be of value, they'll drop you like they dropped their mothers. And they put their mamas in old age homes, nursing homes. They don't have no feeling. What advantage can we get?
Go ahead.
This is a criminal enterprise.
Right.
On your back and with your blood.
Right, exactly.
George Washington had many slaves.
Right.
That's why everyone that you find named Washington. And you got a whole lot of blacks named Washington. I've never seen a white Washington. But every time I see Washington, I see you coming up. My name is Henry Louis Washington. Tom Jefferson. All these cats, man, they love the black woman. They know what bootylicious means. They understand that. And you know damn well that I know what I'm talking about. You don't mean a damn thing to a white man but what's between your legs. And it's become that way with your own black brother. That's why you becoming lesbians today. Because you see through men. They so damn jive and sickening. You'd rather be lay down with a damn woman than to give yourself to a jive Negro. You know I'm saying it right. You think white people really love you. You on their job and they smiling at you, talking nice to you, sweet talking you, as though they love you. How in the hell can they love you and don't love the father that produced you? They'll hang your father as another nigger. They'll beat him down in the street and then come and lie down and take pleasure from you. Why in the hell would you give them pleasure? See, we need some repair in this house. These brothers that can't stay with a black woman. You need some repair, brother. How in the hell can you lie down with the slave master's daughter after they cried rape when they know you wanted them and they wanted you, but they hung your black behind from a tree? And now you parading with her like you got something. Damn right you got something. AIDS. I'm sorry, I didn't bring no notes. I thought I would just talk to you from the heart. Now look, if you're white in here, don't think hard of me. Don't think hard of me. I'm a black man. I love the black woman. I want to see a black woman with a black man. I don't want to see a black woman with a white man, and I don't want to see a black man with a white woman. I think that's disgusting. But it's your cup of tea. Your cup of tea if that's what you want. Damn it, but when you drink from that well, see, tomorrow they'll be hanging you. They'll be castrating you, because the one thing that white man can't stand is to see you with his woman. And she walking down the street sashaying, smiling. See, but this is all written in the Bible, how there was a woman sitting astride a beast. Oh, Lord. She was all dressed in purple. Scarlet. He used his woman.
That's right.
To take you down. He'd been working on her for 4,000 years. When she came out of the cave, she didn't look like this. But today, that flat behind, she got curves in it now. She's been working on it. Stair step. Damn, if the stair step don't work, put something in there to round it out. Put something in here to fill it out. And then she take it all off for you. Damn, you just go crazy. Damn.
Wake us up. Make that fire.
That's how Delilah got Samson.
Tell it. Akbar.
See, you had to hear that for yourself, simply because this is Black History Month, and we have to give you information from our accords, our angles, our positions, so it can sink through, so you can understand the time in which we now live in, so you don't get caught up in the okie doke. It's so much going on out in the world today, so much prejudice that's being revamped. It's, some say it's due to Trump and this election and everything that's going on, but you got to stay vigilant. You have to study, and you have to have knowledge of self, meaning knowledge of who you are. You have to walk this planet as though you belong here, as though you exist. It's real. It's real out here. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and I'm wishing him a speedy recovery, Mike V. And we were talking about how things are moving so fast till people are not taking time to see what's right in front of them. They stumbling over it. They they walking right past it, and their help and knowledge and information is right in their face, but they can't see it because it's this microwave society. Everybody's running here, they running left, they running right. You know, they it's like chickens with their heads cut off. They, you know what I mean? They trying to get here, trying to get there, trying to understand this, trying to understand that, and losing was the value that's right before them. So, look, Black History Month is not just about studying Malcolm, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, even though all these are great, but it's so much more to it. We just did a show on Gang of Zumba. We did shows on John Horse. We did shows on Gaspar Yanga. I mean, so it's so throughout time. And we still fighting this fight of liberation, or the fight to be freedom, or freedom, justice, and equality. We fighting this fight in 2020. We've been fighting this fight since really the 1300s, all up into Columbus, up into slavery, up into black codes, up into Jim Crow, the Constitution. I mean, now we at a point to where, you know, the fight's getting old, and it's time to utilize the mind. I think everyone that listens to this show, and as I always state, that this show is none like any other, whether you white, black, brown, Asian, Native American, whatever your nationality is, this show is here to make you think. And then you come up with your own state of mind, or your own way or viewpoint on the subjects. But we have to put it out here because we all are, how can I say, we are analytical thinkers. If you listening to Verbal Pig Radio, you can think. So Verbal Pig Radio, we're out. Enjoy your day, and don't forget YouTube. Every day, people, their movie, check out the docudrama, first of its kind, has celebrities in it. Go see it for yourself. Verbal Pig Radio, we're out.